I did want to sit here and make a neutral video on the topic, just discussing the facts that we have so far, but I decided to scrap that idea just because at the end of the day I am a fan of Alax, and I'm not gonna mince my words when it comes to how I feel about all of this, and trying to be neutral on someone that you really like is hard to do, so I'm not even gonna bother to do that. I am just gonna give my opinions on the situation and what I think is going on, and you can leave your comments on what you think is going on, but this is all gonna be my opinion and you don't have to agree with it, and I kind of hope you don't, but you know, in my personal opinion, this is what I believe to be the case. So about a year ago, Bobdunga, who is a Canadian YouTuber, did release some sort of statement saying that Alax was kind of abusive in their relationship. He was abusive, he was emotionally distant, and by the end of it she accused him of rape, which, as we know, is disgusting. It's horrible for that to even be mentioned, but with the recent climate it does seem that a lot of people are just accusing men especially of rape, and it's happened so often, and we've had the example now of Pro Jared, who went through a similar sort of accusation, and that was proven, at least for the most part, to be false. While he did do some scummy things, and that is true, in terms of what happened, you know, he was innocent in that case. So in that regard, I do want to seem a bit neutral, just to say that we at least need to see all the information before we go out witch hunting people and trying to cancel different people, because cancel culture is disgusting and it does ruin lives, especially when we haven't got all the facts. But at the time when that was posted, it didn't seem to gain much traction. Alax kind of just ignored it, which, to be honest, if I'm being honest, is the best way to deal with a lot of these situations. If you don't think you did something, I honestly don't think there's even a need to bring a statement, and clearly that was the case because it was kind of swept under the rug at that point and no one really mentioned it again. There was a little statement he did give regarding lawyers, and that did happen, but overall nobody cared. It just kind of happened and it went, and everyone was like, cool, let's just keep watching Alax. But recently, about 2 days ago, Bobdunga released screenshots and text messages and different things in regards to this. Why she decided to wait a year, I'm not really going to discuss. It does seem fishy, but I'm not going to get too much into that. But either way, it did once again depict Alax being abusive, Alax being emotionally distant, and maybe even suffering mentally. And it is a shame that that may or may not be the case. But with this, it did show more text messages where Alax seemingly admitted to raping her. He did seemingly admit to that. But from what I'm gathering from this, which is confusing me most of all, is that the story does seem to be changing constantly in that regard. As the first time it was explained, it was said that Bobdunga was drunk, but so drunk in fact that she had no recollection of the situation, but saying that Alex, on the other hand, or Alax, sorry, wasn't drunk, or at least he had consent. He could consent to it because he wasn't as drunk. He could recall the situation back to her. Now, in my own take, my little hot take here, I think there's two things that happened here. Either they were both drunk, which, to be honest, I think that somewhat falls on you if you do end up being drunk in a situation like that and you're put in a mental state where you are willingly having sex at that moment. You know, you are consenting at that moment, and then later on decide to take that consent away. I think that's a bit scummy, and you know, I do think that falls on the individual who is, you know, intoxicating themselves. But my hot take on this is either they were both drunk and nobody consented, so in that regards, you know, it falls on nobody and I wouldn't consider that rape at all. Or on the other hand, Alax, you know, wasn't drunk, as she has mentioned that he was bragging about her, you know, about how much he wasn't drunk and how embarrassing Bobdunga made him look in that situation. And in that case, yeah, it could be considered rape, even though she may have consented to that. But it can't really be proven. It just can't. You can't prove something like that. And I don't think this is going to cancel him. It's probably not. Yeah, he's lost a few subscribers, but again, people are going to come back because at the end of the day, he makes quality content, and that's really what you come to YouTubers for. You're not there for their personal lives. At least I'm not. I don't sit there to delve into someone's personal life and find out if they're a scummy human, because at the end of the day, most of the popular YouTubers, they're all trash. They've all done something disgusting and that they should be sent to jail for, but look where they are. They're exactly the same as they've always been. So I think it's good to admit when something's been done and it's wrong, but it's probably not going to cancel them is what I'm getting at. It's probably not going to. But I don't want to see Alax cancelled. I don't. And hopefully he will give an actual statement with some proof, but we don't know. Because at the end of the day, these are texts and you can't really infer what a person is actually thinking in those moments. I did see a little theory on Reddit at one point that someone was saying that maybe Alax at that moment, since Bobdunga, once again she states she doesn't remember anything from that night, it could be inferred that he lied about the entire thing to make her feel bad and use it again against her, as, you know, some sort of fire, you know, just to upset her. But what he didn't realize is that comes off as him admitting to raping her. But obviously she has no recollection of this, so whether it happened or not is only down to Alax's words. And, you know, maybe Alax is really that stupid, but he's put himself in a position where he's gone, yeah, I just raped you. Just to let you know, yeah, I did do that. And now all she can infer from that is, yeah, this guy just raped me, and not only did he do it, he admitted to it like a flipping idiot. But what can you do? What can you do in that regards? But yeah, I think he will probably bounce back from this, but I don't want to give him the complete benefit of the doubt. I do want him to give an actual statement, so at least we can compare and put this whole thing to rest. But I will still be watching his videos. I will still be watching them, because at the end of the day, like I said, I want to distinguish between the two, because there's no reason for me to just stop watching content I enjoy because the person behind the camera or behind the mic might be scummy. Because at the end of the day, if I did that, I pretty much wouldn't be watching anything, because pretty much everyone is scummy in some way or another. Some shape or form they've done something horrible. So I'm not going to be someone to do that because I enjoy my entertainment, and I'm not changing that because of the person behind the screen. But that's basically my opinion on it, to be honest. I will leave links to everything that's been said and documented so far. So if you want to take a look at that and, you know, come to your own conclusion, that would be great. But this is just how I feel on the situation, and I don't expect you to feel the same way. But if you'd like to tell me how you feel, leave that in the comment section below, because I am happy to listen to that. But as always, I'd like to thank you and